We're done. We still have some more activity to talk about. We got lots to talk about today. Full details coming up in just a few.
Thanks, Joe. Sometime after 6 o'clock this evening, the Hazleton Area School District may be under the helm of a new superintendent. Tonight, the Hazleton Area School Board is set to vote on appointing Dr. Craig Butler as the superintendent of schools. If the board votes in favor of Butler, his position as superintendent will become effective Tuesday, June 9th and end on June 8th, 2018. Currently, Dr. Butler holds the position as assistant superintendent of schools for the district. There were two other candidates in the running for superintendent of schools. Tonight's special board meeting is set to begin at the Hazleton Area Administration Building at 6 p.m. WYLN's Gary Perna will be at that meeting, and we'll have all the details tonight at 10 p.m. on Late Edition. Hazleton police arrested a man for indecent assault on a young female under the age of 13. According to police, 40-year-old David Vasquez Cruz, whose last known address was in Hazleton, was wanted by police for not only indecent assault, but endangering the welfare of children. Police a warrant for his arrest was issued after an investigation determined that he inappropriately touched a female victim approximately 6 years ago. Cruz admitted the crime to police. According to court papers, the incidents took place twice in a home, and Cruz called police to report the assaults on May 9th. Today, he was arraigned on those charges at District Magistrate Judge Joseph Zolas in Hazleton. He is now behind bars at the Luzerne County Prison in lieu of $250,000 bail. Police in Wilkes-Barre Township are on the lookout for a woman who is suspected of using stolen credit cards. Police say this woman allegedly used several stolen credit cards at Target and then left in a shuttle-type van operated by a different person. If you recognize this woman or know anything about the incident, you are asked to call police in Wilkes-Barre Township immediately at 570-208-2087, or you can leave them a message on their Facebook page, Wilkes-Barre Township Police Department. Wilkes-Barre City Police have posted a list of people wanted by the department. Pictures of 6 people wanted on various crimes by the Wilkes-Barre City Police Department were recently uploaded to their Facebook page. These are those pictures that we just mentioned. If anyone has information on the whereabouts of these individuals on your screen, you are asked to call the Wilkes-Barre City Police Department at 570-826-8106 or dial 911. For more information on the suspects, you can log on to the police department's Facebook page, Wilkes-Barre City Police Department. A car was allegedly set on fire Sunday morning just after midnight in Hazleton. According to police, the police department responded to the 700 block of South Church Street. The cause of the fire remains suspicious at this time. If anyone has information regarding the vehicle fire, you are asked to call the Hazleton Police Department or dial 911. A man from Paterson, New Jersey, wanted by police for attempted homicide, has been captured by police officers in Hazleton. On Saturday, June 6th, around 1 o'clock in the morning, police say they found 25-year-old Luis Polanco while they were conducting a traffic stop on a white Honda Civic coupe near the intersection of Diamond Avenue and Garfield Streets for loud music, traffic offenses, and equipment violations. Hazleton Police Chief Frank D'Andrea says it was a true example of the way police departments can work together.
It's unfortunate they show up on the streets of Hazleton. It is fortunate that we have the men and women in this police department and in Paterson that are willing to go the extra yard. A lot of times people are just quick to give the traffic citation, take for granted the person gave them a name and date of birth. They don't check. They don't go the extra yard. And they miss out on what would be taking a killer off the street. I'm extremely proud to be associated with the men and women of this department just for this exact reason.
Polanco's warrants of attempted homicide and unlawful possession of a handgun are out of Passaic County, New Jersey, where police say he shot and killed a 17-year-old female. The passenger in the vehicle, 24-year-old Aldesto Hernandez Jr. of West Hazleton, had a warrant for his arrest for failure to appear in court for loitering and prowling at night, and they were issued by the Hazleton Police Department.
Currently, we are working, the Hazleton Police Department on this side in Pennsylvania is working hand in hand with the Paterson Police Department. Commissioner Spezial, Jerry Spezial, he and I have a great professional relationship. If you remember, Commissioner Spezial was actually appointed to be the Hazleton Police Department chief in 2012, and then for personal reasons had to turn down the position. He is a phenomenal resource. He's now the commissioner of Paterson, New Jersey. We're in constant communication because we recognize that there is a crime nexus between our two cities.
Tonight, both men are behind bars at the Luzerne County Prison. Apartment building in Wilkes-Barre went up in flames Sunday night, forcing 2 families from their homes. Fire crews were called to the scene on Monroe Street around 8:30 Sunday night. 2 of the 4 apartments were damaged in the blaze. A city fire inspector is still investigating how the fire in Wilkes-Barre began on Sunday night. Governor Tom Wolf submitted a recall of the nomination of Marcus Brown, who he nominated for State Police Commissioner. This comes after months of criticism for Brown since he was wearing a state trooper uniform and did not graduate from the State Police Academy. Brown did spend several years in the Maryland State Police before being tapped by Wolf. This morning, Wolf released this comment. "This morning, I submitted to the Senate a recall of Colonel Marcus Brown's nomination as Commissioner of the Pennsylvania State Police. I will continue to have faith in Colonel Brown's ability to lead the state police, and he will remain as acting commissioner," unquote. Brown's nomination was the only one that did not pass through the Senate for confirmation. Coming up next, we'll hear from Hazleton City Police Chief Frank D'Andrea and Mayor Joey Nuzzi about how the city is looking into placing more cameras around the area. Plus, Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacic will be back with a full look at our forecast. Stay tuned.
You're watching WYLN News, Greater Hazleton's only local news broadcast, with Ann Gownley, Gary Perna, Julie Stefanovich, Kristen Bazinski, weather with Joe Garbacic, and sports with Eric DeBerardinis and Gabriella Justin.
For all your projects, large and small, Bedrock Gardens has it all. They are fully stocked and ready to fill your order. Rubber mulch and rubber curbing to match. Lots of color choices to pick from. Wall stone, natural stone, full pallets ready to go. Their bins are full with rich colored quality mulch that will look wonderful all season long. Finish off your fabulous outdoor space with their quality patio furniture and easy to assemble fire pits. Everything you need for your summer projects. Delivery available, or just stop by and they will load you up. Bedrock Gardens, locally owned and operated. Call today.
Express Care. Walk in and you walk into the region's most trusted health network.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric, Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Hazleton City Police are keeping an eye on the city thanks to cameras built into the Broad Street Corridor project. WYLN's Gary Perna has more.
The city of Hazleton is now using traffic cameras that were part of the Broad Street Corridor project to keep an eye on the city.
Cameras on every intersection in the new corridor, which controls traffic. It just responds to heavy traffic or light traffic and changes the turning lights. So we found out that we could actually hook into those cameras and record whatever happens in case we ever needed it if there was a crime.
Mayor Iannuzzi said they're using the old camera system with the new camera system and adding the PennDOT cameras to keep an eye on what's going on.
We just recently installed several cameras throughout the city of Hazleton at different spots, Alta Street being one of them. And we have a system downstairs now strictly for those cameras that record it. So all we need now is to tie into those cameras on each signal pole and hook them up and transmit them back to City Hall.
Chief DeAndre said using all the cameras is a great tool for the department.
What this does is it gives us access to 40-some new cameras at every intersection along the Broad Street corridor, all the way in through West Hazelton. At no cost to West Hazelton, we will be able to record their cameras, and should they ever have an incident or a need to view the surveillance footage, they can always come to Hazelton Police Department and view that. That's just good interoperability, good cooperation between departments. But more so than that, it's important for the public to understand these cameras will never be used if you went through a red light, that a ticket shows up in your mail for something such as Philadelphia.
The chief said they can use the Broad Street cameras to see if someone comes in or goes out of the city.
What this does for the city is it increases our surveillance camera. Right now we have approximately 24 cameras on the city's new surveillance camera system. This is going to add twice as many cameras. It's going to add almost 48 cameras, 3 or 4 per intersection, facing north, south, east, west.
DeAndrea said this is another great move forward.
This is going to be a great thing for the community, because normally the police department gets almost $100,000 a year from community development money. Incidentally, this entire camera system, surveillance system, was paid for by community development money from 2012, 2013, and 2014.
In Hazelton, for WILN News, I'm Gary Perna.
Thanks, Gary. Coming up next, Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacik is back with a full look at our forecast. Plus, Fairway Subaru is kicking off the Weatherly Hill Climb that's set to take place this weekend. Stay tuned. More news is headed your way, including sports, here on WILN.
Penn State is right here in the Hazelton area.
We're top ranked by corporate recruiters.
We have 4-year degrees, so you can finish here or at another Penn State campus.
There's new scholarship money available.
And there's no application fee when you visit here.
Penn State Hazelton.
Download your application fee waiver at psu.edu/visithazelton.
A winning smile. It's not the secret to success, but it sure helps. Protect your smile by visiting Dr. Weiss for complete dental services. Dr. Weiss offers a full-service denture laboratory on premises, offering dentures in one day. 3 dentists, 4 hygienists, and a team of caring technicians and assistants specializing in quality dentures and repairs, complete general dentistry, extractions, cleaning, and caps. Dr. Weiss, where you can have new dentures in one day.
WILN Weather is sponsored by Coordinated Health. Coordinated Health, we make you better together.
I grew up in Pittston. I know what it takes to live in a small town. I know a lot of these people, and they know me.
And that's why I believe everyone should have access to high-quality, affordable health care. And why I'm pleased to tell you about a new choice, Coordinated Health. I want the very best for my family, friends, and neighbors, and I know Coordinated Health
will bring a new level of patient care to the Wyoming Valley.
Alrighty, well, I'm outside. It is overcast. A lot of those towering low gray clouds. I can see the storms actually moving in from the west. Some thunder, a little bit of some lightning, and now some actually rain is starting to fall. And I want to get indoors before it really picks up in a little bit. And we also have some of the winds starting to pick up. So without any further ado, let's get to the graphic for the day, and well, you can see for yourself that we still have some severe weather, actually quite a bit of it across our viewing area at this 5:30 hour. We got severe thunderstorm warnings, which are still in effect, especially down in Schuylkill County. They're in effect until 6:15 this evening. Again, a lot of these storms, strong gusty winds, locally heavy downpours. A lot of cloud-to-ground lightning, some hail as well. Yellows, oranges indicating the heavier storms, and the most heaviest of storms down in Schuylkill County, the southern part, right down in there. When you see these shades of pink, very, very strong, severe storms. They're the ones you don't want to see. And if you see those on radar, pretty much you want to get out of the way and get indoors very quickly. We dropped down to 69 degrees, our live Lehigh tire conditions outside our station in Hazleton. And so far we picked up 0.15 of an inch of precipitation, but those numbers are going to go up with the showers and storms moving through, and they'll continue to move through as we head into this evening. So 79 and 54 the split in temperatures for the day. 93 and 38 are the records. 532, 834 sunrise and sunset for tomorrow. 73 in Mount Pocono, 77 Wilkes-Barre Scranton International Airport, 69 in Selinsgrove, 70 degrees in State College. Here's a look at our radar. You can see those storms coming in from west toward the east. Again, these reds indicating that these are all tornado watches, which continue to be in effect. In fact, right through here, going into New Jersey, that's the latest one that's issued. Again, these are all showers. These are all storms. Keep an eye to the sky if you're outside. Get indoors very quickly. You don't want to be out in these storms. And there's still even some more activity out in central PA and just out toward the west. So they're going to be around as we head into this evening. And it's going to stay on a mild side of things. We'll be dropping down into the 60s through tonight. Tomorrow, we should be up into the 70s to near 80 degrees, dropping down into the 50s heading into tomorrow night, and as we head into early Wednesday morning. Here's a look at the extended forecast and what we can expect over the next couple of days. Still maybe some more showers for tomorrow, about 74 degrees. Looking good for Wednesday, and again, another chance of some more showers as we go into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even into the weekend. But at that point, it's going to be a little bit warmer. We're actually going to be getting up into the 80s, and we're going to creep up the humidity levels as well. And there's one thing I want to note at this point in time. There's that the Hazleton area graduation for Wednesday. At this point in time, it's looking perfect, near 80 degrees, probably be about 75 degrees right at the time of graduation. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that it does not change. We'll also keep our fingers crossed if you happen to be one of these happy people that win the lottery numbers. In order for you to win them, you have to actually have the numbers, the PA lottery numbers. Here they are. 07 for the pick 2, the pick 3, 857, and the pick 4, 3258. We'll have more for you coming up after the break.
All Care Home Care, the health care that you need in the comfort and privacy of your own home.
At All Care Home Care, our caring and compassionate staff of skilled nurses, occupational speech, physical therapists, dietitian, social worker, and home health aides will give you the professional care you need. Call 459-3002.
With All Care Home Care, you will feel so much better and be able to do so much more.
Remember, it's still your choice. For your care, call us and we'll be there.
Go hog wild for Iron Pigs Baseball. WILN is televising the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs Live, America's favorite pastime on your local network, WILN TV 35. See the Major League Stars of tomorrow at Coca-Cola Park. Don't miss any of the games here on WILN TV 35. Visit WILNTV.com for a complete Iron Pig schedule. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs on WILN, your home for live sports.
This weekend is the 54th annual Weatherly Hill Climb, and it will kick off. And a kickoff today, many of those involved in the event gathered at Fairway in Hazel Township. Our Gary Perna has more.
This weekend, hundreds will be heading to Weatherly for the annual hill climb. Drivers from all over the area and their families will be spending the weekend in the small Carbon County community, which turns into race country for the weekend.
We have the 54th annual Weatherly Hill Climb coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We're going to have racing both days from 9 to 4. We have an exciting weekend. There's a lot going on. Friday night we have a kickoff parade, Welcome to Weatherly, at 7 o'clock. That'll be the drivers and some of our sponsors will put some of their vehicles in. And then after that, we have like a welcome. You can meet the drivers down in the pit area, look at the cars, get pictures taken and stuff like that. And the Relay for Life Weatherly group will have food for sale down there. Also Friday, we have a circus in Weatherly. We have 2 shows, one at 4:30 and one at 7:30.
Seibert goes on about Sunday.
Weekend, Saturday and Sunday, both days, we have yard sales. So we should have 50 to 60 people participating in that. There'll be maps available throughout town. So at the different businesses, so you can find out where the participating homeowners are. We also have fireworks Saturday night at dusk. for everyone to come down, see, and enjoy.
The race will take place both days from 9 until 4, and the drivers are racing against time.
Sunday we go back to racing, 9 to 4, and after we're done racing Sunday, we have trophy presentations. So it should be a pretty exciting weekend, I think. You're racing against time. There's one car up the hill at a time, and they time you. The best time down there is 47 seconds and change, and that's held by a gentleman from North Carolina in a car he built. He's a retired NASA engineer, and the car is it's pretty incredible. We have a lot of the newer DSR racers now. They're like almost a kid car. I'll tell you what, if you like cars and you like to get, we're pretty close to the action here too. We'll put you right on the corners.
Carbon County Commissioner Thomas Gerhardt is a resident of Weatherly and said he can't remember life without the hill climb.
A lifetime resident of Weatherly, the hill climb is one of the biggest events in Weatherly every year. When you say Weatherly, everybody says hill climb. So it's a big event for us, a great group, a great organization that brought back an event that was in jeopardy of no longer taking place. So Joe Seibert, the members of the Weatherly Hill Climb Association, the mayor, borough manager, borough employees. It's a group event where a group of people come together and put on a great event.
Fairway has been a longtime sponsor of the event.
Main sponsor for many years now for the Weatherly Hill Climb. We're happy to do it. It's a great event that helps all the youth organizations in the Weatherly area. I also drive the Fairway Subaru WRX up the hill, so we'll be looking forward to a great weekend of driving too. The car is great up the hill. It's a very tight course, so Subaru's all-wheel drive does great going up there, and if it rains we still race, and the Subaru does very well then because all-wheel drive is great in the rain.
Again, the hill climb will kick off Friday in Weatherly. In Hazel Township, for WYLN News, I'm Gary Perna.
Thanks, Gary. Sports is coming up next here on WYLN.
WYLN Sports broadcasting live June 14th at the Weatherly Hill Climb. WYLN Sports will take you up the hill, past the Devil's Hook, around the hairpin turn, and through the Dutchman. All the turn-by-turn coverage of the Weatherly Hill Climb live on WYLN TV 35. At Whitetail Preserve, they pride themselves with giving their guests 5-star service. They're now open for lunch 6 days a week and offer limited delivery service for lunch to businesses in Cunningham, Valmont, and Humboldt Industrial Park. Call them at 570-384-2314.
Welcome to sports. I'm Gabriella Justin. On Friday, WYLN brought you live footage from Pocono Raceway's Exalta We Paint winners 400 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Today, we have a recap on the weekend's underdog winner and the emotional story behind his victory. Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr. were among the big names competing in the Exalta We Paint winners 400 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series this past weekend. However, the first place winner was an underdog racer, Martin Truex Jr., who with this win drove a 69 Dry Star Series, which had been going on for a solid 2 years. This win gave Furniture Row Chevrolet Racing only its second victory in 285 races since 2005. But the more popular story behind Truex placing first pulls on the emotional strings. Last season, the New Jersey native's struggles went beyond the racetrack. Truex's longtime girlfriend, Sherry Pollux, was facing an obstacle of her own as she began her battle with cancer. But that's not where the emotional background story ends. Earlier last week, Martin Jr.'s paternal grandmother passed away.
We're going to miss her for sure. She was probably the coolest lady I've ever met in my entire life. Just so much fun to be around, and she raised some really great kids, 5 of them to be exact, and we've got a great family, and it's part of the reason we have that. So obviously got to thank her, and we're going to miss her for sure.
Many might argue that this weekend's victory has an underlying meaning about never giving up. His girlfriend Sherry even tweeted, saying, quote, "So worth all the tough days," end quote. Fellow racer Dale Earnhardt Jr. was elated for his longtime pal.
But I can imagine that was a very serious scare with Sherry and her health, and she, that's going to change them for the rest of their lives, and she has to live with that for the rest of her life and continue to fight that battle. So even though she's in good shape today, it's never, the battle's never over, and it's something that they have to deal with every day. And for him to have success out on his track in his professional life, It's something he's always wanted, something he's always dreamed about since the first day I met him. Truex is a hell of a race car driver. He's always been a great driver. Just we're all good damn drivers. We just got to get in the right stuff.
And once again, we at WYLN would like to congratulate Martin Truex Jr. on his wonderful achievement. From the racetrack to the wrestling mat, World Team Trials are in 6 days, and former Penn State wrestling star David Taylor will compete for the World Team spot. The winner will represent the United States at the World Championships in September. Best of luck to David as he competes for the honor of representing the United States of America. Those are your Evening Edition sports. Be sure to tune into WYLN's Late Edition tonight, where Eric DeBiardinis will bring you state baseball and softball highlights. Stay tuned.
During these changing times, is your insurance program up to date? I'm local Allstate agent Gary McNeilis. I invite you to come into our office or give us a call. We'll help you be sure that you have the proper coverage to take care of all your family's needs at a price you can afford. Now more than ever, you need to be in good hands to protect everything that's important to you. Our team of insurance professionals and I will be honored to serve you. Are you in good hands?
It always feels good to pull my own part. Saves a lot of money too.
I've never actually pulled it before, but I think it's time.
It's environmentally conscious, and it can be a lot of fun.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer who's up for an adventure, then come out to Harry's You Pull It. Pull your own quality recycled auto parts for up to 90% off the cost of buying new. Savings like that'll keep more money in the bank, which could lead to even greater fun. Harry's You Pull It. WeGotUsed.com.
And welcome back. Well, here's another look at the radar, and you can clearly see the storms moving in from west toward the east. We still have some of those severe thunderstorm warnings until 6:15. That is for Schuylkill County, the southern part of Schuylkill County, just to the south of the Shenandoah area. But again, these red boxes that you see here continue to be those tornado watches, which continue to be in effect. And again, when you get these yellows and oranges and line like this, those are producing a lot of rain in a short amount of time period. Some hail, not out of the question. A lot of cloud-to-ground lightning, a lot of rain in a short amount of time period. So if you're driving, you get those torrential downpours, probably pull off to the side of the road, because if you don't, it does cause that ponding on the roadways, which can lead to some problems. Here's a look at the 7-day extended forecast. You can see what you can expect over the next couple of days of your life.
And thank you, Joe. And as you can see, we want to make sure that that graduation ceremony continues, and hopefully that rain won't affect graduation at Hazleton Area High School, which will be live here on WYLN. And of course, this weekend, the Weatherly Hill Climb. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you here tomorrow.
The entire family.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Scott Beadle. We begin tonight with a massive manhunt in New York, where there's a $100,000 reward in hopes of recapturing 2 escaped murderers. Right now, hundreds of officers from federal and state law enforcement agencies are combing through the wooded areas surrounding the Clinton Correctional Facility for David Sweat and Richard Matt. The convicted killers left behind decoys in their beds Friday night or early Saturday as they used power tools to cut their way through the walls of the prison.
We presume that they may have had access to a vehicle, as well as they may have received assistance in their escape effort.
Must have kept you awake with all that cutting, huh?
The men managed to crawl through a series of tunnels and steam pipes before finally cutting through a lock on this manhole and on their way to freedom. Officials believe the dangerous fugitives could have crossed into nearby Canada or traveled southwest. Authorities have also alerted agencies in Mexico to be on the lookout. This was the first escape in the prison's 150-year history. The South Carolina police officer involved in the shooting of Walter Scott has now been charged with murder. Solicitor Scarlett Wilson says evidence presented warranted those charges against Michael Slager. Officials say Slager shot and killed Scott on April 4th after Scott ran from his car during a traffic stop. Slager claimed he fired because he felt his life was threatened, but video shows Slager shooting the 50-year-old in the back as he ran away.
He's charged with murder. That's right. Now, in South Carolina, remember, we don't have murder in varying degrees. Although we do have murder and we have voluntary manslaughter, you'll hear other states talking about murder 1, murder 2, that sort of thing. In South Carolina, what we have is straight murder. And in this case, and in cases involving murder, what we're talking about is an unlawful killing with malice aforethought.
A night of music turns into mayhem in New Jersey. A large disturbance started when crowds of people, many with tickets, weren't allowed inside Summer Jam. That's a concert hosted by a New York radio station featuring Kendrick Lamar, Big Sean, and Chris Brown.
People have been standing out here for over 3.5 hours just trying to get into a concert that they paid their money for, and they wouldn't let us in.
Officials say hundreds of ticketed fans were not allowed inside the hip-hop event because of an apparent crowd control problem. Concert organizers say refunds will be given for ticket holders whose tickets were not scanned. A police officer in Texas is on administrative leave following a dramatic confrontation with teenagers at a pool party last week. The incident, which was caught on cell phone video, shows the officer wrestling a 14-year-old girl to the ground and pointing his gun at 2 other teens. Officers were there responding to a disturbance call, and they are investigating the incident. A Central Florida man shot and killed his teenage brother Friday night after mistaking him for a home intruder. Authorities say the 32-year-old man told them he heard noises around 11:30 that night. The man fired 1 round from his gun at a figure in the kitchen and was shocked to see that it was not an intruder, but his 17-year-old brother, Leonard Stay. Leonard was taken to the hospital but died an hour later. Investigators believe the shooting is a tragic accident.
But certainly we'll let the state take a look at it, review it, go over it, see if there's any parts of the case that may need further investigation, and then they'll make a determination at some point.
The victim's brother has not been named at this time, and so far, no charges have been filed. President Obama met with African leaders, Iraq's president, and financial and trade representatives at the G7 summit today. The session was called an outreach meeting to engage with African leaders on ways to strengthen peace and economic growth. There are some common challenges to many African countries and also challenges in the fight against international terrorist organizations. Those taking part in today's session include the chair of the African Union, Ethiopia's prime minister, Liberia's president, Iraq's president, the head of the World Bank, and the head of the World Trade Organization. 1 week after a cruise ship capsized in China, authorities say they have collected DNA samples from more than 400 victims. There were only 14 survivors out of 456 people on board after the ship capsized during a storm. The ship was righted and raised Friday, and rescuers began collecting hundreds of bodies. Most of the passengers were elderly tourists. 8 people remain missing. It's a crime on the rise. Cash machines hacked, smashed, blown up, or even carted away. Now a reminder, it's not just the ATMs being targeted. The people lining up to get their money are falling victim too, and those attacks are becoming brazen. Here's Aditi Roy.
Tonight, a chilling robbery caught on an ATM surveillance camera in Pittsburgh. Watch as a man approaches a woman from behind Friday morning at a downtown ATM. The suspect, wearing dark clothing and a baseball cap, appears to pull out a gun. He then grabs her hand that's holding her withdrawn money. They struggle, and he takes off with $500. The victim unharmed. Experts say they've seen a rise in ATM robberies and ATM crimes across the U.S. Look at these security images from a Florida ATM last fall. A man approaches a young woman from behind, wrapping his arm around her throat. She hits the panic button on her car keys, and he takes off. The suspect later arrested. The location of the ATM can also make a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Like on the corner, ATMs that are right on the corner, you have a suspect or an assailant that could come around each corner, and you're doing your transaction at an ATM, and next thing you know, there's a blind spot.
And make sure there are no barriers around the ATM, like a wall or shrubs, where a would-be robber could be hiding. And don't be distracted. In Pittsburgh, the video shows the victim was on her cell phone when she walked up to the ATM. Police say that could have made her an easier target.
Scary moments for some travelers late last night. A United Airlines plane from Washington, D.C. skidded off the runway at Buffalo Niagara International Airport. United Express Flight 3796 attempted to land on a slick runway when the plane skidded about 300 feet off the pavement into the grass safety area. The pilot told passengers a gust of wind had carried the plane off the runway. After emergency crews arrived, fire officials assured the 69 passengers there were no mechanical issues with the aircraft and they were not in any danger.
Thank God we stopped before we hit Cayuga Drive because we were pretty darn close.
Shuttles took passengers back to the terminal and no one was hurt. A shark bit an 11-year-old boy off Florida's Atlantic coast. A helicopter